Node 2105.
Alrighty, this is your net control station for the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. My call sign is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, and we will begin in just a bit. But first, could I have a radio check, please? Why do I have the feeling that this is gonna end up being the way it did last time? Alrighty. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Is there someone out there who could give me a radio check?
Not sure how long it would take UPS to get it here to VK land, but yeah, I can give you a radio check.
Alrighty, it looks like I got confirmation that the radio is working. Thank you, VK5ZSH. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. And we're gonna begin the net here after I reset. Alright, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, testing Echolink, and it looks like Echolink is not making it into the network. Bummer. If anybody's on this Echolink network, I suggest you QSY to Echolink node KJ70MO-Lima, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, hyphen Lima, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. Alrighty, it looks like we are having some connectivity issues with our Echolink conference. One moment while we sort that out. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
Playing from Kimberly's A21S.
Alrighty, we almost have our issue sorted. Stand by, folks. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. Alrighty, we have our Echolink connection problem sorted by implementing a temporary bridge to fix the normal bridge. So this will work for now. Anyways, moving along. Hello and welcome to the Worldwide Pride Net. This also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. My name is Kimberly, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar. Mike Oscar is my call sign, and my pronouns are she, her. I am your net control operator for this net. This is a roundtable general discussion and RagChew net, and all calls should go through the net control station. This net meets every Sunday at 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time, which we are 10 minutes late for. Anyways, before we begin, do we have any emergency or other priority traffic?
This is Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-ray testing.
All right, hearing no emergencies, traffic, and acknowledging the radio check from the station, you're sounding all right. If at any time there is an emergency, please say break, break, and we will assist you. This net provides a safe place for members of the LGBTQIA+ community, as well as their allies, to hang out over the airwaves. This net, as well as the network it's hosted on, is open to all licensed amateur radio operators. No membership is necessary, and we welcome third-party traffic as well. Speaking of memberships, the Pride Radio Group provides an inclusive environment for all to learn, experiment, and enjoy radio communications by encouraging, promoting, and supporting diversity with the wider radio community, sharing our experiences and learnings with the community, and celebrating and embracing Pride on the air. For more information about the Pride Radio Group and how to join, plus gain access to our Discord chat room, head on over to prideradio.group. That is prideradio.group. Or you can check out Victor Kilo 3 Papa Romeo Golf or Kilo 3 Papa Romeo Golf on QRZ. And you'll get join information there. Membership is free and all are welcome, regardless of who you are and who you love. Unless you hate folks like us, of course. This net is being relayed on the various nodes, talk groups, and reflectors of the Pride Radio Network and affiliated systems, including All-Star, Echolink, IRLP, DMR, YSF, Wires X, M17, NXDN, P25, D-Star, Peanut, as well as various RF repeaters around the world, and is also streamed live on Broadcastify, Icecast, and via my YouTube channel, which can be found by searching for my call sign, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. For more information on how you can connect to this network, or for our live stream links, visit prideradionetwork.com. That is prideradionetwork.com. And finally, you can also track and follow this net by downloading NetLogger on Windows, Linux, or Mac OS from netlogger.org. That is netlogger.org. NetLogger is a fantastic piece of software that allows you to log into the net and view a list of call signs in real time and be able to follow along with the net. For Android users, you may download NetScraper instead. That is NetScraper. And if anybody has any information about iPhone-compatible NetLogger clients, third-party or original, please let me know, because I would love to include that on the list as well. Alrighty then, before we begin this evening's net, do we have any news announcements or other items of business for the net and the Pride Radio Group? Alright, that was also my opportunity to get some water in my system. Hi. Already, there are no announcements. So, it's our favorite time of the net. Time to take some check-ins and add some call signs to the list. Let's start off with mobile, short on time, or in and out stations. So if you're mobile, don't have much time, or you just want to pop in for a quick hello before carrying on, Please come down with your call sign slowly, twice, and phonetically, and you may also include your pronouns as well if you like. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, she, her, and I'll be standing by for mobile short on time or in and out stations. Already hearing none. And by the way, I take online check-ins as well, so if you're on Discord, Mastodon, Twitter, or the YouTube live stream, hit me up. Look for my call sign, and we'll get your check-in in there. And I also take email check-ins as well. I'm good on QRZ. Alright, let's open up check-ins to anybody, anywhere. So, anybody, anywhere, if you'd like to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net, you know what to do. Throw those call signs out there. And also your pronouns as well, if you wish. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, standing by for check-ins.
KJ7OMO, please check in. Alpha Echo 4, Whiskey X-Ray. Mark, he is.
Alright! First victim of the day. Whoops, did I say that out loud?
This is KC3 VIU, Kilo Charlie 3, Victor India Uniform, Phoebe, and Stevens, PA. Checking into the net.
M020, Mike 0 Tango Zulu Oscar, listening in.
Already, awesome sauce. We have 3 so far. Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-Ray, Kilo Charlie 3 Victor India Uniform, Mike 0 Tango Zulu Oscar. Hopefully I got those right. If not, you may correct me when it's your turn. Do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in at this time?
VK5 Zulu Sierra Hotel, VK5 ZSH Dale.
Delta, Victor Kilo CLD. Drew?
Alright, we got 2 more out of that. Victor Kilo 5 Zulu Sierra Hotel and Victor Kilo 5 Charlie Lima Delta. Do we have anybody else out there?
BSD, Victor Kilo 2 Bravo Sierra Delta, Victor Kilo Delta, Yakuza City. For now, I might join later, but I'm just doing some soldering work at the moment, so listen on the side.
Alright, we have Victor Kilo 2 Bravo Sierra Delta with an in and out, and a note that you might rejoin later. Alright, well, thanks for stopping by and 7-3, and if you do check in again, we will put you back at your current spot. All right. Do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in at this time? Alrighty, let's go ahead and start going through this list of these fine stations here. Starting off with Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-Ray. Hello, good evening. How is everything going? Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. We'll toss the mic over to you.
Well, good evening, Kimberly and everybody on the net. This is Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-Ray, Mark, in West End, North Carolina. And thank you for taking my check-in. I'm glad to be able to be on. Last couple of weeks I wasn't able to be here. Please do, I should mention, please also check in KQ4FTC, Pamela, she, her, who recently got her license. Unfortunately, she's dealing with an emergency client right now and couldn't come on. But she wanted to make sure that she was on the list as well. Let's see. The main thing over here going on is, I live in Ward County where the substations were shot at 2 months ago. You all heard about that. And one of the things I wanted to do is improve my ability to communicate afterwards, particularly with people who are not amateur radio operators. So I've built myself a decent little communications hub. I bought an old refurbished desktop and outfitted it with all the goodies, with APRS and Echolink, all that stuff. Got it on an uninterruptible power supply, got battery power for it. We use for field day, and people that aren't amateur radio operators are really impressed. But I mean, this is basic stuff for us. But that's gone really well, and I definitely feel better having that in place. Let me key out. The only other thing I'll mention, of course, is we're getting some of that DeSantis nonsense here in North Carolina. It's not the first time that's happened. And, we fought them before and won. We're going to do it again. So with that, I'll turn it back to you. Hope everybody's doing okay. And 73. This is Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-Ray.
Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-Ray Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar returning. Yeah, it sucks that that those idiots have decided to shoot the substations here recently. I'm not sure why they would want to do something like that, but it's good that you finally have some backup stuff going so that at least your station will remain on the air and you'll be able to provide emergency communications. That is really awesome. I need to get that set up myself so that I can also provide emergency communications should we go through an extended power outage. And the DeSantis stuff is not good. It's spreading like wildfire. Hopefully that gets nipped in the butt before it gets too serious. Alright, next station on the list, Kilo Charlie 3 Victor India Uniform, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Hello Phoebe, how's it going?
This is KC3VIU. Well, you kind of left a can of worms open there, so I'm going to take a quick minute to describe. Last weekend, I got back together with my ex, after the divorce, and she asked me to move out. We were talking, and I was helping her out with things, and it had become increasingly been communicating a lot more recently. I'll give the repeater a pause here. And she's been asking for more and more help, and so last weekend she invited me over and we had lunch together, and she gave me a bunch of things that I could take to consignment again for her. She's been doing that since I moved out, and she gave me some stuff she wasn't going to eat, like she had some pierogies that she didn't want and anything. But anyway, it was all really great. She gave me some jewelry, and at the end, she gave me a hug. So I'm feeling very hopeful about the future of at least us remaining friends, because it was difficult after 19 years to have somebody say, I can't be with you yet, at least as far as being married goes. So hope that was all audible, and back to net control.
Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar returning. Well, I'm sorry that you had some relationship issues, but it's good to know that y'all are able to remain friends, and hopefully things will work out for the both of you. All right, we're gonna toss it over to Mike 0 Tango Zulu Oscar. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. How are you?
Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. This is Mike 0 Tango Zulu Oscar. I'm in London, UK. Name is Paul. And very good morning to you from this location here in the UK. Yeah, been a member of the group for a little while, and finally was awake long enough to check in. Won't keep it too long, and I may not be around for the next over. But I thought I'd say hi, and have worked at another station that had a call sign for the group, and I proudly have a group called QSL card. So, yeah, not much more to say. I've had a few drinks, so I'm not going to hold it too long. It's been a very good night for me. Kilo Juliet, yes, I forgot the call sign there. 7, it's on my screen. Oscar Mike Oscar, Mike 0 Tango Zulu Oscar. I'll get back to you.
Alright, Mike Zulu Tango Zulu. Mike 0 Tango Zulu Oscar. If I could just talk. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. What's good hearing from you? We hardly ever get any UK stations on our net. Most likely because it's a early morning for you, an inconvenient time for your area. But we're glad to have you aboard, and hopefully we're able to hear you again on the next one. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, and 7-3 to you. And one of these days we ought to create a second version of this net, but for times that are more friendly for UK stations and the surrounding areas. Something to discuss on Discord. Alright, Victor Kilo 5, Zulu Sierra Hotel, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Hello, Dave. How is everything going in your neck of the woods?
KJ7RMO, VK5, ZSH, returning. G'day to you, Kimberly, and the rest of the net, and listeners. Yeah, things are not too bad here today. What is it? 25.1 degrees outside. So yeah, we're getting into, this week's supposed to be warming up and being around the 30-degree mark each day. So yes, summer's still having its little bit to say there. Weather's a bit chaotic actually, because last week it was warm, and then we had a cool change blow through, and yeah, it's back to warming up again. So yeah, that's all I've got to add there at the moment. So I'll put it back to you there, Kimberley, KJ7IMO, VK5ZSH in the group.
Alrighty, sounds good. I forgot to acknowledge Kilo Quebec 4 Foxtrot Tango Charlie. That station has been checked in as per Mark's request. Alright, Victor Kilo 5, Charlie Lima Delta. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. Hello, Drew. How are you doing over there in the land down under?
An OMO in the group, VK5CLD. Doing rather well this afternoon there, Kimberley. Just currently out on the driveway with the mobile rig, as I'm in the process of getting it all installed up. So I'm sort of running a bit of a temporary antenna on it at the moment while I fit the antenna to the bonnet of the car and get all the cables fit. It's finally through now that I've got a fusion radio that I can run through some of the local repeaters here. Like Dale said, the weather here is quite pleasant, which is a nice change from the little cool change earlier in the which sort of kept some of this progress from happening. Although fortunately it signed up for the Adelaide Monthly Fox Hunt last night, which was good fun. I managed one of the 3 foxes before losing a BMC coupler that was required to hook the antenna up to the radio, so I was unfortunately not able to. But it was a good night out. Up to about overall where the fox was found. That's about all from me, so I'll pass it back. KJ7 OMO and the group VK5CLD.
Playing from Kimberly's A21S.
Alright, sorry about that. That was third-party traffic from an AI assistant called Alexa from Amazon. That's not a real human. Anyways, Victor Kilo 5 Charlie Lima Delta Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar returning. You're sounding pretty darn good coming in from your FTM 400 into the VK5 RDF Wires X repeater. You're doing pretty darn good on that repeater. Excellent. First, I think that's the first time we had a check-in from Wires X. Hi. I think. I'm not sure. Anyways, and we will once again acknowledge VK2BSD, in and out 73, and KQ Kilo Quebec 4 Foxtrot Tango Charlie, also in and out 73, and that brings us down to the bottom of the list. Do we have anybody out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net? All I need are your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically. And if you wish, you may throw your pronouns out there as well. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. Pronouns are she, her, and I'll be standing by for any additional check-ins to the net before we carry on. Alrighty, no additional check-ins at this time, so we'll kick it back up to the top. Alpha Echo 4, Whiskey X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. And by the way, I forgot to tell you on your last transmission, your audio levels were a little bit on the low side, but other than that, you were full quieting and sounding otherwise pretty good. So we'll toss the mic over to you. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. Alpha Echo 4, Whiskey X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
Oh, thank you again, Kimberly. Sorry about that. The net on my end just kind of went silent. I wonder if I had timed out or something. So I thought I would try keying in, and there you were. So, like I was telling you on Mastodon, I just the other day I took an older laptop that was running Windows just impossibly slow, and put Ubuntu on there just to see how it would go, and it's certainly been an improvement. So I'm using the Qtel Echolink client for the first time here today, and just kind of learning it. And I was just wondering if I was seeing some behavior where I was timing out or otherwise kicking me out of the net. But anyway, well, I'm glad I'm back, and thank you. But back to you. This is Alpha Echo 4, Whiskey X-Ray.
Hey, no worries. Stuff happens. At least you were able to come back. Alright, Kilo Charlie 3, Victor India Uniform, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
This is Casey. I wanted to ask the net, as far as like the 10-meter rigs. I have a friend who has one that's really nice, and I'd consider getting one of those too. But I'm looking for something that's more or less mobile, not terribly fixed. And I have, for where I live, would have to use a portable antenna or something I can pick up and take down. So I'm just wondering if anybody out there has recommendations for a very good, decent, I should say, meter rig that would be portable. Back to net control. KC3VIU, back to...
Alright, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar returning. You know what? I'm not sure about any mobile 10-meter only rigs out there, but I'm pretty sure that there might be others out there who could chime in. If not, you could throw the question out there on Discord as well if nobody on the net has any information. Yeah, that would be a pretty fun little thing to add to your collection. Maybe you could modify a 11-meter radio for 10 meters. Anyways, we're gonna kick it over to Victor Kilo 5, Zulu Sierra Hotel, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
KJ7 OMO, VK5, ZSH returning. The 10-meter rig, 10-meter only rig, I can't really answer to whether there'd be one out there, but one rig I'm actually looking for myself is actually a Yaesu FT8900. Which is a quad band and does two 700, 6, and 10. So you may be interested in that, and that might, if you're looking for it to be mobile, they'll probably cut down on a little bit of your clutter as well inside your car. Probably the only answer I've got for that question there. QTEL, that's not a bad little Echolink client actually. I much prefer it to the Mac version. The Echolink client on Mac, it's atrocious. Not a big fan of it at all. One thing that I noticed that it lacked straight out of the bat was a search. You couldn't search for anything. You had to basically scroll through the lists, which I found rather painful. So that's probably all I've got to add at the moment. Last night for a little bit, Anyway, I'll throw it back to you there, Kimberly. KJ7 OMO, VK5, ZSH in the group.
VK5ZSH, KJ7OMO, returning. Copy that. That looks like a decent little radio that you're looking to get. I myself have my eyeballs on the FT991A, and I'm really wanting to get that radio, but I gotta pay off a lot of bills first before I could afford to buy that radio. Anyways, we're gonna toss it over to Victor Kilo 5 Charlie Lima Delta Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar.
DLD returning. Thanks for the heads up on the QTEL stuff of Echo. Wasn't aware that there was a third-party client for that, but I'll have to check it out. Also, I'm surprised by Maxdale. I thought you were the resident Debian guy on the PIT Discord. As for the 10-meter side of things, I did once have donated to me a Uniden 28 megahertz 10-meter all mode rig. Right when I first passed my my license by one of the local club members around here, that was a fun little radio to work with. I managed to work a little bit of DX with that for JA and Alaska, which was pretty fun. I think the one thing to note about that 7900 is I believe that as a radio, that one is FM only. So that might be something to consider if you're looking for a 10-meter mobile rig. If you're looking to be able to do single sideband, I don't believe that Yaesu rig will do it. There's a handful of manufacturers for the 10-meter all-mode stuff. There's the Uniden one that I have. I think there's I have a vague recollection that there's some made by Midland and a couple of others. They're less common over here in VK. They're a little bit more prominent stateside due to, I think, the restrictions on technician class licenses only being able to use 10 meters. Our basic license over here gives us some space on 80, 40, and 15 in addition to 10, albeit with a lower out. So they haven't really taken off here as much as elsewhere. And Midland, I believe, make them. The Uniden one that I have seems pretty well built, and Uniden are quite well respected for their CB gear as well. So it might be one to look into. I'm not sure if they're still making them. I think mine is a little bit older at this point. I think that's all for me, so I'll pass it back to you, Kimberly. KJ7ONO and the group VK5CL.
VK5 CLD KJ7OMO returning. Alright, fine business. Thanks for that information. And yeah, I didn't know that Midland and the other one made ham gear. I mean, I was under the impression that all they made was gear for the chicken band. Hi, the 11-meter chicken band. Doggone it, you Aussies are influencing me. And changing how I speak. One of these days, I'm going to wind up speaking full-blown Aussie. Alright, yeah, I digress. But yeah, I had no idea that they made anything else besides CB radios. And by the way, our technician class hams do have access to 15, 40, and 80 meters, but only a very small slice of each of those bands, and only CW. Nothing else but CW is allowed on those bands for technicians. And then technicians have limited privileges on just a small slice of 10 meters. They can do digital mode, CW, and single sideband voice, but nothing else. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list again, so let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check into the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All you need to do is throw your call signs out there slowly, twice, and phonetically to make sure I can catch them. And if you wish, you may also include your pronouns in your transmissions. And by the way, do leave like a short, like when you key up, wait for like a second or two before you talk, because digital modes aren't as quick as analog modes to pass the audio through the network. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, she, her, and I will be standing by for any additional check-ins to the net. Alrighty, do we have any additional check-ins to the net before I kick it up to the top? Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar standing by.
Kilo Golf 6, Golf Foxtrot, Quebec. I repeat, Kilo Golf 6, Golf Foxtrot, Quebec. Checking in.
Alrighty, we have Kilo Golf 6, Golf Foxtrot, Quebec. Got you down. Do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in? Alright, Kilo Golf 6, Golf Foxtrot, Quebec. Go ahead and take it away. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
This is Kilo Golf 6, Golf Foxtrot, Quebec. I actually could possibly be in and out tonight. I'm using the local IRL node and don't want to tie up that repeater for too long, but wanted to say hello and have a good evening, everyone.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for checking in via the IRLP, and I shall say 7-3 to you, and you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thanks for stopping by. Alrighty. Before I kick it up to the top, one more call for check-ins. Do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in at this time? Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and kick it back up to Alpha Echo for Whiskey, X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
Well, thank you again, Kimberly. And for Phoebe, I would, if you're looking for 10 meters, and I wasn't sure what mode you were looking for, that quad band that was mentioned earlier, I forget the model number, but it is FM only, so keep that in mind. I'm very partial to the Yaesu FT891. It's small, it's got a detachable head, so it works really well on a mobile platform. It'll do sideband. It'll do AM, FM, CW, digital. I use it extensively. That's the platform I use for Parks on the Air, and it works really well for that. You just throw it in the box and off you go. So it really is good, and it's also relatively inexpensive too. I would suggest maybe looking at that one. That's about all I got. I'll turn it back to you. This is Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-Ray.
Alrighty, thanks for that information. Kilo Charlie 3 Victor India Uniform, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
This is KC3VIU. Thanks, Kimberly. Just wondering if anybody out there has any experience with the the TYT, that's Tango, Yankee Tango, brand of radios. Outside of the Yaesu, which of course is a beautiful rig, and I've looked that over. Thank you, Mark. I'm just wondering about some of the other brands and stuff that are out there too. So And next time around, or maybe I'll just post it to the chat for Echo Link, the antenna that I'm looking to get. It's a very interesting one that has a monopole with an antenna tuner and stuff, and it looks really, really sweet. So essential for where I live right now. So, okay, Kimberly, back to night control. This is KC3VIU, back to KJ7OMO.
KC3VIU, KJ7OMO, returning. Yeah, copy that. I do have some experience with TYT radios. The Radiotti GD77, which is manufactured by TYT, that's a handheld for DMR and analog. And then for a brief time, I owned the TYT Tango Yankee Tango TH9800. That's Tango Hotel 9800 quad band 50 watt rig there that can do 10 meters, 10 meters, 6 meters, 70 centimeters, and 2 meters. I said that out of order. So 10, 6, 2, and 70. But it's FM only. So nothing else but FM. And you could actually quite easily Mars mod it through software, and that would allow you to go out of band, but I don't recommend doing that. But software mods do allow you to go down well below, not well below, but slightly below the CB band, and there's no reason for you to Mars mod the radio since, you already have full access to all of the, bands. But it's an alright radio, but the major problem with that radio is that, its audio quality sucks. Its audio quality sucks really bad. Its speaker is terrible. And the audio amp on it is also pretty lousy. Even if you plug in a high-quality external speaker to it, it's still... The sound quality of that radio just sucks really bad. So I had to return it to the store that I bought it from and get my money back. But if it weren't for those... for the sound issues, that would have been a great little radio. For FM only operations on the 4 bands. Anyways, we're gonna toss it over to VK5ZSH KJ7OMO.
KJ7OMO, VK5 ZSH returning. Thanks for the couple that reminded me that the Yaesu FT8900 was FM only. That, for some reason, slipped my noodle and never actually sunk in properly. I don't know what happened there. Because I've looked at it many a times. Unfortunately, it's a discontinued radio, and you can't purchase it new anywhere, so it's a matter of finding someone that doesn't want ridiculous money for it second hand. So that's the only thing there with that. Thanks for the tip on the TYT there too, Kimberly. That's one thing that annoys me a little bit is audio quality, basically, and the fact that I don't know why speakers have to, in radios, fire upwards. I know it's just the design of them, but yeah. That gets a little bit annoying. It forces people like myself to go out and buy umpteen bloody external speakers, etc. But anyway, I'll get off my my soapbox here on my little gripes there, and yeah, if you can get your hands on a Radio Oddity GD77, highly recommend it. The Open GD77 firmware is absolutely brilliant. I'm on my GD77 at the moment, and I'm pushing a whole 50 milliwatts. Yep, that's right, a whole 50 milliwatts. Yeah, no no prizes for high power here, and I'm only going into a hotspot, which is a couple of metres away anyway, so yeah, I don't see the reason to running anything more. But yeah, the other radio that's you can get, it is actually a TYT, and Retivus do a version of it as well. It's the hang on. Alrighty. There's the TYT MD 380 390 that will use a version of the OpenGD77. You have to go to the OpenGD77 forum there, and you'll notice that it's there. Also, the mobile unit, I forget the model number for that as well will run a version of the OpenGD77 firmware. And I've got a Retivus here, the RT3S, the GPS version. GPS absolutely sucks in the radio. It's just a cheap bit of junk that I've been told. But yeah, the GPS is hopeless. But at least with the RT3S, if you want to work satellites and stuff, you don't have to add it to your laptop all the time to get an accurate sync of time and date, etc. It has its own RTC built in, which is good. So both versions of the firmware do handle the satellite stuff. So Rich makes working satellites a breeze, because all you got to do is punch in your long and lat and make sure you got accurate time and update your TEP data, and voila, away you go. You're off to the races, swinging around a dual band Yagi. Hi. Alright, I'll put it back to you there, Kimberly. KJ7 IMO, VK5 ZSH.
VK5 ZSH KJ7 OMO returning. Yeah, copy that. I do have the Retivus radio on my wish list, which, by the way, I believe is another TYT manufactured radio. Yeah, the thing I love about the OpenGD77 is the ability to work satellites and not having to manually adjust any frequencies. All you have to do is, plug it into the computer, load the file in there, which would synchronize the time and date and all that stuff, and add the latest version of the satellite file. And then all you would have to do is manually put in your coordinates, and then put it in satellite mode, pick the satellite you want, and it will automatically correct itself for Doppler shift and all that stuff. So, yeah, if you're looking for to work satellites, then Yeah, definitely a OpenGD77 firmware capable radio is highly, highly, highly recommended. It takes the fuss out of working satellites. Alrighty, Victor Kilo 5, Charlie Lima Delta, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. It's your turn once again.
Seven OMO in the group, VK5 CLD. Adding another +1 for the Renovus RT3S. I've also got one, although also modded with the OpenGD77 firmware. Yet to play with the satellite thing. One of the things that drew me to it. Jumping back to the Unidens and the amateur bands and the discussion about Mars modding, I believe the reason why those particular radios are manufactured by those particular companies is that they are very easy, let's just say, to
Alright, well, you cut out right after you said very easy to, so we'll put it back to you to try that again. VK5CLD KJ7OMO. Alright, well, it looks like VK5CLD's node got disconnected. Oh, wait a moment, I see that node reconnecting. VK5CLD KJ7OMO, are you back with us?
I am back. I believe that it tries to default back to the local Adelaide wires X room that links a few of the repeaters here on a time limit, so it's been disconnecting me periodically. Was I understood on my last over, or did it drop out halfway through? Over?
Yeah, copy that. Most wires X repeaters will have a timeout limit. Yeah, you dropped out halfway through your transmission. So go ahead and try your whole transmission again. Back to you.
Yep, thank you for letting me know there that the first half I'll summarise since it sounds like that I've also got a Renovus RT drawn to satellite functionality, although I'm yet to play around with it, but the OpenGD77 firmware is certainly quite nice for that. Topic of Uniden and Midland producing 28 megahertz radios for the amateur band. Mention of Mars modding before. I believe that those are sold that way to be very easily modified to open their transmit range of them to free bands down on 11 meters with significantly higher power I believe the one I have it's not what it was. But they're sold legally by those CB manufacturers as amateur 10-meter radios, but are very easily made to be high-power free-band CBs, illegally, of course. That was about all from me, so I'll pass it back to KJ7OLO and the K5CLD.
VK5CLD KJ7, I'm returning. Yeah, copy that. I noticed that the majority of these cheap Chinese radios are free band capable, unfortunately, and that does pose a a problem if people decide to free band and be a nuisance on the air. And the Titera TH9800 that I briefly had is no exception. It actually can transmit on the CB bands once you Mars mod it. Of course, I did it in a dummy load. I mean, I'm not that stupid. I mean, I made sure to have a dummy load there when I tried it out. But yeah, it can transmit, actually, I don't remember the lowest frequency it can transmit on, but it can get pretty dang close to the 12-meter band, but not quite. Not quite. But, yeah, it's kind of a headache to deal with these cheap radios that have these abilities, but what can you do? It's how these cheap manufacturers do things. Anyways, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if we have anybody else out there wishing to check into the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All I need from you are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically. And if you wish, you may include your pronouns as well. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, she, her, and let's see if there's anybody else out there. I'm going to stand by for a moment. And to the folks on YouTube, had a comment, love your screen background on YouTube. Thank you, Phoebe. And I'll minimize everything so you could admire it. Alrighty, hearing nothing, we're going to toss it back up to Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Earth to Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-Ray. Earth to Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-Ray. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
This is KC3VIU, coming back to Kimberly. They left a message on the Echo link saying that they were signing off, and I guess they didn't message back to you any other way, so just to let you know.
All right, who left the message?
This is KC3VIU. The station you were last calling, I didn't make a screenshot of the image. Sorry. Back to you, KC3VIU. Back to KJ7OMO.
Alrighty, thanks for the relay. I'll go ahead and check out Alpha Echo 4 Whiskey X-Ray, and it's your turn again, so we'll toss it back to you.
Thank you, Kimberly. KC3VIU. Yeah, I was going to say I'm about ready to sign out too. I certainly appreciate all the input. I've been writing down model numbers and looking things up as I go. I didn't get a whole lot of good sleep last night, so I'm gonna be clear on my at the end of this transmission. I'll probably listen for a little bit longer, but I certainly appreciate all the good information, and I would like to suggest something I really have a question about next time, and that is, what the heck is a 2300 meter band useful for anyway, if you only get 10 kilohertz of bandwidth, or 10 hertz, I think it is, maybe 100 hertz of bandwidth. Anyway, it doesn't seem to me to be terribly useful. Anyway, back to net control. KC3VIU is clear. Back to KJ7OMO.
Alright, KC3VIU, KJ7OMO returning. The 20... I'm gonna butcher this because I don't remember if it's a 2300 meter band. Yeah, I think it's 2300 meter band. Correct me if I got that wrong. Yeah, I think that's put in place for those who really want the challenge, I guess. I guess it's there for for masochists and sadistic folks that want to punish themselves by by challenging themselves really hard on that low a frequency. Okay, I'm being silly. I'm only being silly. Yeah, I really don't know what the purpose of that band is, but it is an amateur radio band, and yeah, I guess the only thing you can do on that is CW or maybe FT8. You might be able to do FT8 down there and maybe JS8 as well. I'm not sure. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, and 7333 and all the numbers, and we'll catch you next time. Victor Kilo 5, Zulu Sierra Hotel, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
KJ7OMO, VK5, ZSH returning. Oh, well, I didn't expect it to come back to me that quickly. Yeah, I didn't gain anything else out of there besides the 2400 meter band there, and yeah, I have to agree, you'd have to be some kind of masochist, sadistic sort of person to try and work within a 10 hertz bandwidth. That is not a lot of bandwidth, let alone for the output that you're needing. You're probably going to have to want to put in, probably a kilowatt or something like that, just to get the output of, say, 5 watts. So, yeah, I don't see any benefit there, to be honest. Unless you want a really good radiator heater for winter, then you'd be set. Hi. All right, I'll put it back to you there, Kimberly KJ7RMO, VK5ZSH.
Yeah, copy that. And for us, that band is limited to no more than 1 watt. Effective radiated power, I think. Effective. I don't know what the terminology is. But yeah, basically the equivalent of 1 watt coming out of that antenna is the maximum you can do. No matter how much you input to it, it cannot be any more than 1 watt equivalent coming out of that antenna on that low frequency. So I'm not sure how you could work anybody on that low a frequency on only 1 watt, unless maybe ground wave has some pretty interesting properties. Because, yeah, I don't think you'll get any skywave at all down there. I think it's pretty much all ground wave stuff down there. Anyways, Victor Kilo 5, Charlie Lima Delta, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
KJ7OMO and the group VK5CLD. Yeah, from the reading that I've done with the 2300 meter band, it certainly is some interesting stuff. I once came across I think it was a ZL station put by their QIZ page that had a sloper antenna for it was. I think it was, I can't remember the exact wavelength off the top of my head, but I think it was to the tune of about 600 meters, and I think that sounds about right for a quarter wave, although I'm not sure how that was being tuned. Supported on posts down the side of a mountain in New Zealand, which maybe leads credence to the ground wave theory with propagation off the mountain to other stations in the near vicinity. Yeah, it certainly gets quite interesting. The technology put in for the very low and very high bands, and the links that people will go to make contacts in the unusual methods you have to use up and down in those places. As for the dropping out on the local fusion repeater, well acknowledged. I just had another one then, so I think it might be for me to order an MMPVM board and get my RT3S programmed up to use that and come in via DMR for the net sometime in the future. That's about it for me today, so I'll pass it back. KJ7OMO and the group VK5CLD.
VK5CLD, KJ7OMO returning. Yeah, copy that. Well, we look forward to hearing you via a hotspot one of these days. And, yeah, I looked up the band that we were talking about. It's actually the 2200 meter band from 135.7 through 137.8 kilohertz. Yikes, that is way down there. And, yeah, quite the interesting band. Anyways, yeah, it looks like, yeah, it's gonna be a challenge to operate down there for sure. Anyways, we've reached the bottom of the list. So, let's see if we have anybody else out there wishing to check into the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All I need are your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, you may include your pronouns in your transmissions as well. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, she, her, and I will be standing by for any additional check-ins to the net. Alright, do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in at this time? Boy, it looks like pretty much everybody is dropping out like flies here. VK5ZSH, KJ7OMO.
KJ7OMO, VK5ZSH returning. Yeah, I'm not actually sure who's left. I think it might be just you and I, so I'm not sure if you want to wind up the net early, so, you know, we all have an early minute, or what have you, but yeah, I'll put it back to you there anyway, so yeah, you could yeah, make a decision there on that one. Back to you there, Kimberly KJ2 VK5ZSH.
Yeah, copy that. That's probably what I'm gonna wind up doing. VK5, Charlie Lima Delta, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
KJ7OMO, VK5CLD. Yes, it seems like with the numbers dropping off now might be a nice time to wind off. I'm all clear for the day, I think, and I will think I'll need to drop anyway because I've got mess with the power in the vehicle here in order to start putting of my engine bay back together now that I've got my coax run finished. So I'll hand it back. KJ7OMO VK5CLD.
Alright, VK5CLD, KJ7OMO returning. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, and I shall say 7-3. And we hope to hear you again on the net on the next one. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list, so before I shut things down, do we have any additional check-ins for the net? Alright, last call. Do we have any additional check-ins for the net? Alrighty, VK5ZSH, KJ7OMO returning. Would you like to say your closing transmissions?
KJ7IMO and listeners, VK5ZSH returning, because I think that's all we've got left is probably just listeners. Hi. Yeah, no problems there, Kimberly. Great net as per usual. Thanks for putting it on, etc., etc. And yeah, I'll bid everyone adieu and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll just catch everyone again next week when the Pride Net's back. So yeah, all right. Not sure if you're going to have an after party there, Kimberly. It might be a tad boring. I don't know, because we'll just end up being me and you anyway. So yeah, alrighty. I'll put it back to you anyway. Otherwise, yeah, cheers and 73, if you're like going to sign off for the evening there. Alright, I'll put it back to you there, Kimberly. KJ7IMO, VK5ZSH.
Alrighty, VK5ZSH, KJ7OMO are returning. Alright, well, thanks for hanging out, and 7-3 to you. And, yeah, we'll see you on the next one, and, yeah, I'll probably be, monitoring, the network, for a while, though, I kinda do need to give my voice a rest, 'cause it's starting to strain and get a little dry. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and call that a wrap. I would like to thank all of you for participating and having fun on this net. I also would like to thank the Waverley Amateur Radio Society in Sydney, as well as the folks behind the VK3RBL repeater for the use of their systems to carry this net, as well as VK3JED, VK2WAY, and the rest of the Pride Radio group for making this net and this network possible. I now return all frequencies, repeaters, and other systems back to their abnormal abuse. I mean, normal amateur use. Hi. 7-3 to everybody from Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. This net is now closed at 8:33 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Arizona. 0333 hours. Coordinated Universal Time. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. And, by the way, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 check-ins with me, totaling 9. So 9 check-ins including myself, or 8 check-ins if you're not including the net control. Hi. But we'll throw me in there. So 9 check-ins in total. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. I'll be off to the side monitoring.
Yes, yeah, Kimberly, yeah, I'm going to wander off and grab myself a coffee and stretch the legs, etc., etc. So, VK5, ZSH, clear but listening.
Okay, 5 CLD also going clear. Thanks for hosting the net again this week, Kimberly. Returning VK5 70 centimeters to Adelaide 10G room. Over.
Alright, well, 7-3 to y'all, and I'm going to go ahead and be clear but listening. I need to let my voice rest for a while. We'll see y'all around. 7-3 from Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. And for those of you who are on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you on the next one. 7-3, y'all.